Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Robbie Basel Show. Today is Monday, June 5th, 1 week before my international soccer preview of Africa. We got CONCACAF, which is North America, and we have Europe, which is UEFA, all the international tournaments, and all of that. I'm going to break it all down for you guys into one simple video. It's unfortunately going to be a stream since my editing software is not working. So you'll see just like how you're seeing it now. There won't be any visuals. In the future, when I do this more, especially in September when I'm going to do this type of thing again, that's when you'll see like an edited video, more broken down video. Unfortunately, this is just what I have to deal with for right now. But I mean, I don't mind it. It gives me a little bit of a different perspective, more of a live feel, and I like it like this for now. But we'll see how this goes long term. So, yeah, like I said, welcome to the stream. Today, we have a ton of topics in soccer. We have NBA Finals Game 2 to break down from yesterday. And we have Stanley Cup Finals Game 1. And Game 2 is actually live right now when this is being recorded. Since it's 8 o'clock, the game's actually about to start in a couple minutes. Hopefully, people come from my stream, go to my stream first, and then turn the game on. We'll give you updates of the game here and there. But right now, I would like to be, of course, also for topics that we have the French Open to give you an update on that. And we'll give you an update from Barcelona. But I'd like to begin this with, first of all, a shout out. Tonight for my high school, which is at Mineola, was the varsity dinner. Shout out to everyone who got awards tonight. I was in your shoes last year. It is one of the I love the feeling of getting those awards. It felt awesome. It made you feel like you achieved something. For those who don't know me that well, I did get all county in one sport. It's better than zero. I get that comment all the time. One is better than zero because I got screwed for a season. But besides the fact, I did get all county in track, which it's actually a lot harder to get all county in track on Long Island than you think it is. Especially in Nassau County, to get the top 3 in your event in your county meet. I got in the 800. I finished in second, and I missed out on my main event, the 400, by 1 second, and my relay by 9/10. Just saying. But we're not here to hear me. Your guys who are watching this video aren't here to hear me babble about track. And of course, shout out to the people who got awards. But we're here to talk about live sports and transfers, which is what we're starting with today. The first one, we have a ton to talk about. And my first one is an official deal done today that's really going to bolster the midfield at Liverpool. And that is Alexis McAllister finally signing his deal with Liverpool. How did this go faster than Bellingham? I have no idea. This is amazing for Liverpool. That is your James Milner replacement. Get the younger guy from Brighton for a good fee. I believe he does have a release clause. What's up? Hi, chat. Is there a problem? Hey, we're high. Let's go. If you for those who don't want to listen to soccer, come back in about 20 minutes. So I don't know. Anyway, Alexis McAllister is a big deal for Liverpool. He is their first big signing of the year. They were into him for a good amount of time, and it was only inevitable that he signed his deal. Thinking this to happen today. I thought it was gonna happen tomorrow. With all the other news coming around, but yeah, big deal with Liverpool. My question is, will this start a big transfer window that hopefully gets them back over the top? Because remember, Liverpool isn't in the Champions League this year. It's a very weird thought that Liverpool, as big as a club as they are, finished 5th or 6th in the Premier League behind the likes of United, Newcastle, who are rising up to the occasion now. You have Arsenal, who finished in 2nd and bottled the league, and it kills me as an Arsenal fan to say that. But, and then of course you have City. But the question for Liverpool is, you're going to be a big favorite to win the Europa League next year. Kind of the same way I think Arsenal was like a good was up there for being the favorite to win the league win the tournament. My question now is what else are they going to do? I think they need to add more. What will it be? I don't know. They just need to add another class player. I think that's a big thing that Liverpool needs. Just another class player. I thought they were going to sign Casado and not McAllister. Watch them go and sign Casado. You heard it here for that would be amazing. That would be horrible for me because Arsenal's actually in on Moises Casado, as well as Manchester United are also in on Moises Casado right now. But enough about Moises Casado. We have talks from Real Madrid next. We're going to head to Spain. That's not the first time we're heading to Spain. We're heading there multiple times today. But the first one is with Real Madrid and the official deal for Karim Benzema. He's heading to the Saudi League. And it kills me as a fan to say this, but it finally happened. It happened, I think it was this morning or last night. I think it was this morning. But Karim Benzema, according to Fabrizio Romano, is heading to the Saudi League for a club that I don't even want to pronounce because I'm probably going to get it wrong, for $100 million a year. So you could look at this in two ways. The league is mid, and that is true. But it's 100 million euros. That's the way a lot of players are going to be looking at this situation. You get your bag, but the league's mid. That's kind of the situation Ronaldo was in. He's like, well, I mean, I want to like Ronaldo's thought process last year was like, well, no one's going to be able to afford my wage, and I'm getting a bag from the Saudis. I don't know. But Benzema is officially going to Saudi Arabia. It's very unfortunate. He had a very successful career at Real Madrid. We touched on that last week on Friday. Sorry about that. But yeah, the Saudi league, they're interested in some other players as well. Fabrizio Romano said they're interested in multiple other class players. I don't remember the exact list. I remember Sergio Ramos is actually in on that list, which makes sense. Old player. This is going to be your new retirement league, probably. Secure your bag. Get out of Europe. Like I said, secure the bag, move on. That's just the way that league could look like in the future. Remember, Saudi Arabia, they want to start building up their reputation with their league, their national team, beat Argentina, like I mentioned last week. They're probably going to have a World Cup bid in the coming years. So it's Saudi Arabia just trying to build themselves up, and I think they're starting with it, getting Benzema, getting Ronaldo last year. I think this could start that build up to the next level for what Saudi Arabia could look like in the future as a footballing nation. I'm staying with Real Madrid. They are heavily interested in Chelsea striker Kai Havertz. I love this idea. Kai Havertz is currently rotting away at the meme known as Chelsea. For those who don't know, Kai Havertz once thought as a highly talented striker. Was bought by Chelsea. He's played all right. That's the way I can describe it. I think Chelsea's a mess. I think they have to sell multiple pieces. Pulisic, I wish he's sold, but he's going to be a free agent next year. So it's possible that Pulisic gets sold. Where would he go? I thought last year they were going to loan him, and then they didn't loan him, which didn't make any sense because look how many good wingers they have. And look how many good forwards are on Chelsea. And Pulisic didn't get moved at all. Besides the fact, Kai Havertz, remember, the way Chelsea are doing this right now, and this is very puzzling by them because what do you need him for? You're getting rid of a big wage. Now, granted, money's not really their priority. I think Todd Bowley's their owner. He's like the Steve Cohen of soccer at this point. To give you those non-soccer people or not football people, is whatever you want to call it, a little bit of an American reference. But wow, I mean, Real Madrid had a target, and it's Kai Havertz. I'm very interested to see if they actually get this done. I think it's very possible to get this in the coming weeks. I mean, they just lost Asensio. That deal was official today with PSG that Asensio is going to sign with the Parisians, and made sense. But wow, I mean, Kai Havertz getting a big step up, getting back into the Champions League, I think would really help his career for sure. Just will the spotlight be too bright for him? That's my question for him. I think he has a lot of talent. Just will the spotlight be too bright? He was good in the Champions League last year, from what I remember. Because Chelsea was in the Champions League, they finished like third or fourth year prior, and they made the Champions League knockouts, despite their team being an absolute mess. But yeah, I mean, Kai Havertz, I love this idea for Kai Havertz. Two more soccer moves to talk to you about. And the first one is with Leo Messi. Now, Lionel Messi officially left PSG. Him and Neymar were actually spotted leaving the celebrations at Parc des Princes, or I think it was Parc des Princes where they're at on over the weekend, with PSG winning the French league by a nice 1 point after losing. And they won the league by 1 point, which is very disappointing because of how much quality PSG has, and yet they almost fumbled to, like, I think it was Nantes or something. I don't know. But wow. I mean, Lionel Messi is officially moving. Who's going to be interested in him? That's the big question. Who's going to be able to afford Leo Messi? Per Fabrizio Romano, there's actually a meeting today with I think it was Messi's father. I have no idea. Someone related to Messi, we'll just put it at that, was seen with one of the heads of Barcelona. They were approved for FFP. Their like finances were okay, I guess. And wow, I mean, they had a meeting today. There was no deal done, according to Fabrizio Romano today. But this could be a big deal because if Barcelona find a way to do this, my question for them is why? I mean, they're going to bring back the nostalgia. That's good. Lionel Messi is still a very good player. Lionel Messi is one of probably the best players in the world still. But is he going to be the piece that takes you over to the top? And I'm not saying Lionel Messi is a bad player. Not at all what I'm saying. He's a world-class player, probably the best player I will ever see in my lifetime. Haaland or Mbappe might pass that, but right now he's the best player I've ever seen. So, will that front three, because remember, I believe they play a 4-3-3 still with Xavi as coach in Barcelona. Does that mean that Barcelona are still that good of a team? Will they have the depth to really go out and win the Champions League? Good news for them, they don't have to deal with Bayern again. That Bayern will, I don't believe, can be in their group next year, which is good. Which is good for them. But what I'm trying to say is this the right approach that Barcelona should take if they really want to contend? And that's a question that they're going to be able to answer over time. I like Dembele. I don't know how long he's going to stay there for. I like some of their younger players, especially in the midfield with Pedri and Gavi. I have a feeling one of them is going to be sold. Not this year, but possibly next. It's very possible depending on the FFP situation. I like some of their defense. I mean, Ter Stegen. Is it Ter Stegen in that for them? I don't know. I believe it's Ter Stegen in it for Barcelona. But it's a very interesting situation for Barcelona to be in. And if they get Lionel Messi somehow, the question mark is going to be, are they going to win the Champions League? My question for them, this is how I'm going to put it. How much does Lionel Messi really improve the team? That's what I'm going to say. Also, apologies, there's lag. We're having a little bit of Wi-Fi issues. But just mentioning that real quick. My final player to talk about is a retirement from today. And that was, unfortunately, of Zlatan Ibrahimovic. One of my favorite players of all time, with the bicycle kicks, with his heroics, his attitude, his mentality. Unfortunately, retired yesterday in front of the San Siro crowd against Verona. Verona actually booed him, and then he went out and then said, "Be quiet. This is the most amount of greatness you'll ever see." I love that. I love it. It gives you a little bit of a difference to, like, say if there was a different player. I'm just going to name a player that I remember there was an interview when he was going to MLS and he was compared to Carlos Vela. If Carlos Vela was booed for whatever reason, I mean, he wouldn't go out like Zlatan and say, "Be quiet, let me speak." But Zlatan had a remarkable career playing for the Swedish national team. I believe he played in a World Cup. I'm not 100% sure, but he had some memorable goals for sure. I believe he also played in 4 different decades. I think he started in 99. Yeah, I think he started in 99. One of the few players, if not the only player ever to play in 4 different decades, which is miraculous. But Zlatan had a very memorable career, had so many memorable moments playing for teams like the Galaxy and MLS. He played for AC Milan twice, I believe. I think he did he play for PSG? I remember he's been on so many different teams. You lose count. You lose count at this point. But Zlatan had a very memorable career, and I hope he enjoys retirement because it's gonna be totally different than going out and playing, training all the time with whatever club he would be playing for. My next topic to talk about for you tonight is a recap. And if you watched the previous video, uh, when I watched game one of the Stanley Cup Finals, which is what we're talking about next, I could not have had a bigger smile on my face because I went out. Sam Bennett was terribly wrong. He also had 12. Chat. Sam Bennett had 12 penalty minutes. Bro, what? I didn't even know that. Like, that's miraculous. So Sam Bennett was one of my players to watch. He had a -1 plus minus and had 12 penalty minutes, which is absolutely hilarious. But no one, someone who actually really surprised me was one of my other players to watch, Anthony Duclair, who, despite having a -1 plus minus, scored a goal. I was not expecting that. And when I saw it go in, I'm like, oh my goodness, it's Anthony Duclair. Not to brag or anything, but and of course, for the Golden Knights, Riley Smith scored an open goal, open net, empty net goal, still counts. And Marchessault had a goal as well. For Vegas as a whole, they outplayed Florida. There's no other way you can put it. It was a lot of fun to watch for sure. Jack Eichel had 2 assists. Barbashev? Yeah, I said that right. Barbashev had an assist. Chandler Stevenson had an assist. Howden had an assist. Shea Theodore had a goal and an assist. By the way, 2 defensemen scored for Vegas. Just an interesting note with Zach Whitecloud and Shea Theodore scoring goals. Wow. I mean, they looked like the better team for sure. They also had like barely any penalty minutes. I mean, Sam Bennett and Matthew Tkachuk combined, I think they had more penalty minutes than Vegas did the whole game. So a little bit of a lack of discipline, but I know there's a lot of like handsy moments, a lot of was it scruffs? Like a little bit mini fights. I don't even know what the word is for that, but yeah, Vegas looked like the better team. They play actually right now, and we can give you a little bit of a possible score update. Because this game is supposed to start at 8 p.m. Eastern time, and it apparently hasn't started yet. It's currently 8:18, and the game hasn't started yet. So I'll give you updates here and there for sure. Let's see if this will load. No, it hasn't started yet. It's on TNT if you want to watch the game. But Vegas, I think they're going to win this game as well. Granted, this is going to be. I think this game is going to be much closer. Looking at probably a 3-2 score line. But Aiden Hill had a good game as well for Vegas in net. And Bobrovsky, a little bit of a struggle for him the last time out. I mean, I'm interested. I think they're going to rock him again. They should rock him again. But Aiden Hill has been fantastic. 16-7-1 with a 2.5 goals allowed per game. The 915 save percentage. That's the second highest that's the highest on the team with people who have played more games or equal to as many games as he has. I think it's Brasso. I know I said that wrong, but he had 7 wins and 3 overtime losses with a 2.17. But he's only played 7. He's only played 10 games. So, and Hill has played. If you do the math, it's 24, and so now we start 25. For Aiden Hill in all comps for the season. But Aiden Hill's been solid in net. Matthew Tkachuk would be interesting because Matthew Tkachuk in the previous game, you ready for this? I think he had more penalty minutes. Yeah, he had more penalty minutes than Sam Bennett. Jeez. But the goals were scored by Eric Stahl and Anthony Duclair. Florida, this is like a siren has to be going off, kind of like their goal horn in Florida. Like, what is going on? Very interesting game one. If you look at the box score, we'll take a look at the box score. Vegas scored 3 late goals, and it was a great crowd in T-Mobile Arena. It was awesome to see their first Stanley Cup final since their inaugural season, their first home Stanley Cup final game since their inaugural season. But yeah, Vegas looking good. We'll see if they can keep it rolling tonight. But yeah, my prediction for tonight is Vegas 3, Florida 2. Who will score the goals? I don't even want to know. That's a phenomenal question. Will I get it right? You guys will be able to find out first, probably before I do. But yeah, fun start to the Stanley Cup Finals. Apparently, this game hasn't started yet. This is really weird. By the way, for those watching this one after the show goes live, comment down below, or I'm posting a series of clips from like my best takes so far for the first 8 episodes, first 8 or 9 episodes, probably like right after the stream ends. Comment either there or anywhere what other sport you want me to talk about, because I will do research and I will talk about anything. That's just the way I am. Yeah, the game just started. Game 2, by the way. It just started. But yeah, if you guys want any sport, team, anything like that for me to talk about, comment it down below on this video, or just send me a message in DM at @Basel_11 or at the Robbie Basel Show. Just if you want to see a different topic or a specific team you want me to talk about, I'll totally do that for you guys. I know I have like a lot of topics for the show, but I can go over and talk more about any team. If you guys really want something, I'll totally do it for you guys. By the way, quick PSA, there'll be no show on June 19th. Reason, I'm not going to be here. That day is my birthday. I do turn 19 on June 19th, which is hilarious. Yeah, that show, I believe we're going to do that one on the 20th. And then do one on that Friday. I think that's what I'm going to do. You guys will find out first. You guys will know right away what the deal is. And yeah, I mean, it's a very weird time for me, of course. Me working in the city here and there, working for my dad. That's why I if you tell, I look exhausted. And yeah, sleep is not the easiest thing to get for me. But enough about myself. Enough about the PSA. We now head out to Colorado and Miami and Denver. The Nuggets going out losing. I think it was Jamal Murray who missed a late shot last night. I was able to watch the game last night. Gabe Vincent had 23, a very solid game. Kevin Love had 10 rebounds. He was their leading rebounder. And their leading assist guy was Jimmy Butler, who had 9 assists. Jokic had 41 and still lost. Jamal Murray did absolutely nothing. Granted, he had 18 points. He didn't have a point until I think it was the second quarter. It really held down Jamal Murray, which is a big thing you need to do if you want to have a chance to win this series if you are the Miami Heat. The Denver Nuggets, they only had 4 double-digit scorers. 4. It was Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, Bruce Brown. Jeez. Who would have thought this would be the situation? Granted, Jeff Green was 1 point short, but you didn't get double-digit points. He won't be added to the list. But man, what a turnaround by Miami. I was not expecting this, that's for sure. I mean, Miami had a lot more contributors. Gabe Vincent having 23, as I mentioned. Bam Adebayo at 21. Jimmy Butler at 21. Duncan Robinson 10 and 17 minutes. I think that's an interesting contribution as well. Max Strus having 14 points. There are some good moments in this game for sure. A lot of high energy. There was a big run. I think it was in the second quarter with Denver. Just hearing that energy is so awesome to hear. But my questions to ask for Denver: how do you bounce back going to Miami? They weren't rattled. Miami were not rattled game two. I think they may have been a little bit in game one, but game two, they looked relaxed. They're not relaxed. Relaxed isn't the right term. But they settled into this game well, and they did what their tactics were from Spoelstra, and they got the job done, the Miami Heat. Going out, winning by any means necessary, winning by 3 points. Like I said, getting the job done. Will their momentum keep going into game three? For reference, game three is June 7th. That is Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. in Miami. And game four is actually come on. Game four is on Friday. I might stream earlier on Friday. I don't know yet. Just to make sure it doesn't interfere with the game like I did tonight. Just for the future, another quick reminder. Mondays going to keep going at 8 o'clock. Fridays going to be it could range starting at noon. It could be at 4. It's kind of like an NFL schedule, honestly. But yeah, 1, 4, 8. I don't know. Just make sure you follow the Instagram so you don't miss out when the show goes live, or when the video gets uploaded. But for Miami, their next game is on. They have Wednesday, Friday at home. But for Denver, you need people to contribute in order to win a basketball game. Nikola Jokic is that dude. He had 41. Mike Breen was, by the way, we'll go on about Mike Breen in another episode. I've been getting a little off track today. But, Jokic can't be the only one doing everything. Him and Jamal only tied for 60, and Jokic had 59, and Jamal Murray had 18 of the 59. You expect him to win games. He has 30. Jokic is like 35, 40. That could be the fans' expectations in Denver for Jamal Murray. And he didn't do it last night for me. Or really for anybody. Do you want to look at the box score again? How did he shoot? That's the question. Jamal Murray shot under 50%. Jokic shot over 50%. That's the difference. Jamal Murray was 3 of 8 from 3, and that could be a big impact reason as well. You want to talk about difference makers. Miami Heat shooting a 3 was solid last night, percentage-wise. Kyle Lowry had 2 threes, Jimmy Butler had 2, Duncan Robinson had 2, Caleb Martin had 1. He only had 3 points. I don't know what's going on with him. 4 from Max Strus, 4 from Gabe Vincent, 2 from Kevin Love. So they have more people hitting shots when they need it, because that was technically a possible must-win game last night for how much the momentum swung. Now all the momentum going to Miami, I'm interested to see the difference. That's a big thing. What will the difference be? My game to watch is, of course, on Wednesday, and I'll recap that game on Friday, hopefully before game 4. So we'll move on from that. It'll be a very fun game to watch, that's for sure. And we're going to go to the realm of tennis. And we are going to head to what happened the couple days after the 2 days that you may have missed. The surprise result here, we'll start with the men's here, was Fritz of USA and Tiafoe of USA both going crashing out. In 4 sets, Fritz losing from the Argentine Cerundolo, and Tiafoe losing to Zverev. After Tiafoe won the first set, fun thing to note, and Fritz, same deal, won the first set, went out and lost. Gregor Dimitrov won. Holger Rune, who I think a lot of people liked in this tournament, won as well. Casper Ruud winning as well. On Sunday in the round of 16, Novak took care of all sorts of business. Kachanov lost the first set to Sonigo 6-1, won the next three sets to win in four. Alcaraz did his thing. He's just that dude. He won in straights. I'll just say the other two right now. They also won in straights. Novak and Tsitsipas won in straights as well. And the match I want you to watch out for tomorrow is I like all of these honestly. On the men's side, but I'm gonna go with Cerundolo and Rune. Granted that's six. I think I'll change my mind. We'll go with Dimitrov and Zverev because it's not. It's 6:15 in the morning. 2:15 tomorrow. Dimitrov and Zverev, the 28th versus 22nd seed in the tournament. It'll be very interesting to watch for sure. Both are very powerful players. I'm really excited for that one. Tuesday is the quarterfinals. We have a very fun match. It's not loading the Monday result. Hold on one second. The computer I'm using is really odd today. I feel like there was matches played today. There's not loading. Sorry that you guys are having to deal with this, but I think it's just the computer I'm using. Yeah, I'll just go from this. The fourth round. So the quarterfinals are tomorrow, like mentioned. What were the results? I messed up. Google wasn't loading. So we'll talk to you what happened. Holger Rune played a phenomenal match. I thought this matchup was tomorrow. It was today. Rune won in 5 sets. Very fun to watch. If you were watching this game, from the looks of it, it was intriguing to watch. Zverev made me look like a moron and has beaten Dimitrov in 2 hours in straight sets. Nishioka losing to Echeverry. I think that's how you say it. And the other match, I believe that's because we had Ruud. We had Casper Ruud winning as well, setting up on the quarterfinals. And that will be tomorrow. My match to watch is going to be, of course, it has to be Alcaraz and Tsitsipas. Thanks, Google, for not working. Alcaraz and Tsitsipas is going to be the match to watch. It's the night session. It's the quarterfinals of the French Open. Why wouldn't that be your pick in this situation? Novak and Kachanov is the other quarterfinal. It'll be very fun to watch for sure. I'm very excited to watch how both those matches turn out. On the women's side, looking back from Saturday, from Friday, I'll also load up women's singles for you guys. We had Rybakina go out and withdraw, which made this very anticlimactic. We had Coco Gauff drop the first set to Andreeva, who I think is the 16-year-old, and then win. There's other notable matches. Bianca Andreescu went out and lost and got ran off the court by Surenko from Ukraine. Sevilla Tech won in 6-love, which is absolute domination. And Jabeur went out and lost the first set and won the next two. So there are some of your notable matches. From Sunday, we had Mertens go out and lose early on in the day. Very anticlimactic from there. We had the 9th seed, Kasatkina, there you go, lose to Zvoltina from Ukraine. Sloane Stephens went out and lost to Sabalenka. No shockers there. I believe that's all the results. Yeah. I'll mention that the person in a second. So now this sets up the draw for today, and this is the match that I want to watch out for. And it was, let me find it. Sevilla Tech. Well, this match is supposed to be really fun against Surenko. Sevilla Tech won via withdrawal. Correction, via retirement. That's the correct pronunciation for this. But yeah, this sets up a very fun quarterfinal as well. I still like Jabeur to win the tournament, but it'll be very fun until the end. And that's just the way these tennis tournaments are. My second to last topic tonight, I don't even have it loaded. That's professional streamer, as mentioned. Yeah, a lot of moving parts for me today, so apologies for that. And we go to Catalonia or Barcelona, whichever one you want to call it, and we go to the Spanish Grand Prix. I did predict Max to win. The surprise for me was Lando got a very unfortunate break from the start and got hit off, as some kids would say, off the rip. Lando finished 17th after starting in third, which is a terrible break for him. The surprise person for me, Sergio drove very well. George Russell and Lewis Hamilton finishing second and third. Hammer Time finishing in second. I love that result. I mean, Mercedes said they were bringing upgrades. I think those upgrades showed it in this race. Lewis only finishing 24 seconds off of Max, showing the dominance of that Red Bull car, and it's driving me crazy. But I want to go back to qualifying because there's a bit of a concern from a certain person, and that driver is Charles Leclerc. What the hell was that? The situation was Charles Leclerc finished 19th in qualifying in the first round. How the heck does this even happen for the Ferrari? Granted, the car looked slow. It was slippery a little bit, but my goodness, this was really anticlimactic for Charles Leclerc. The next big shocker was Perez, who finished in 11th, finishing behind Piastri. I believe this is, overall qualifying. Finishing behind Piastri by about a little bit over 1/10, which is unfortunate. I believe it was 2/10, a little bit over 2/10, 2 to 3/10 of second in between him and Piastri. And once again, very weird qualifying for Perez, showing his inconsistency. Question is, I don't know. I have a lot of questions. I'll explain those in a second. But the big shocker and a terrible break for Pierre Gasly, got a sixth-place grid penalty, which I thought was kind of harsh. But yeah, of course, pole sitter was Verstappen. He finished in first. Lewis started in fifth and finished in second. George Russell started 12th and finished in third. Interesting. That's just a fun note as well. And what does this look like for the standings? Max Verstappen now holds a 53-point lead over Perez, probably making this championship over already, and we still have a lot to go in the season. But due to Max Verstappen's dominance, this is probably how it's going to probably end. Most likely how it's going to end. The biggest shocker here is still McLaren for probably doing nothing. McLaren still in sixth on 17 points, which is 2 more points than I said the last time I had when I was on the Starting Grid podcast, which is a different podcast with Rome and Shane. They're awesome guys. Make sure to check those guys out. I was on their podcast a couple weeks ago, around a month ago actually now, and I was talking about when they're in Miami how bad McLaren is. They're still terrible. And hear me out. Just a weird thought. Lewis has been linked to recent possibly going to Ferrari. There's rumors about that, which is interesting. If you're Lando Norris, just bring up this question, and you see an open seat at Mercedes, why wouldn't you not have heavily high interest in that and go to Mercedes? I mean, you'll have a better car, better chance to win, more competitiveness. It'll be much better for him, probably personally, working with Toto Wolff, who's won championships. A lot of them. Won all of them with Lewis. And the one with Nico. I think he's won 8 championships for Mercedes. That's many Mercedes won a whole. I believe he's been there for all of them. But wouldn't that be better for Lando's career? Not getting 17 points in how many races we've had? I mean, they're 260 points plus behind Red Bull. Granted, Red Bull's absolutely going crazy. But you'd think, and if you've paid attention all season long, you knew this was going to happen for how bad they were in the preseason when they had that event in Bahrain with the testing. So this is a horrible look for McLaren, and I think Lando Norris could be possibly on the move. Just look, this is a thing to watch out for. Will Lando Norris move? Will Lewis Hamilton move? Who knows? But that's to look forward to in the future. It's time for my last topic of the day. And this was actually one that was brought up in a group chat. We were talking about this earlier. And it comes in the realm of baseball. And the reason I'm bringing this up, one sec, guys. I'll just give you guys a quick score update as well. Sorry, this is really scuffed. Vegas has scored. It's a goal for Vegas. And the goal scorer was my man, Jonathan Marchessault. He's done it again. I told you guys he was probably to watch out for. And he's done it. He's only gone and done it again. Jack Eichel, by the way, got his third assist of in the last game and a half. So, but and the reason I'll go into now my final topic, and it's in baseball, and it's the New York Mets and how they've been sliding a little bit. And I'll just briefly talk about this before we go out and finish the stream. The New York Mets currently sitting in third place behind the Marlins, ahead of the Phillies. And I think it's very possible by the end of the upcoming series, that the Mets are tied for third or possibly in fourth position. And my reasoning is this: Miami has come out firing. They've done everything right. They've done everything they can to stay in the mix. The Mets play the Braves, and I have a feeling they're going to get swept. Just the overall feeling. You got swept by Toronto at home. That's a problem. You're now playing the Braves, which I think is you have to take games. You're in Atlanta. You have to take games against Atlanta. They've been always struggled at Atlanta. They've struggled there for a good couple of years now, and probably for longer than I've really been following the team. So I think it's a very big problem the Mets are going to be in. I think it's very possible because the Marlins, they're playing the Royals. They're currently up 9-4 on the Royals. So the Marlins are going to get another game back on Atlanta. And the Phillies, well, we haven't talked about them much. They've been falling apart. They're playing the Tigers, who are also in a mess. So this is the perfect time for the Phillies and Marlins to make ground on either the Mets or the Braves, because that series is going to really dictate. It's also very possible, hear me out on this as well, that the Marlins are in first place in the National League East by the end of the day Thursday. It's possible, and it's weird for me to say that. And I don't want to say that because you would never expect the Marlins to even be here. I didn't think they win this many games before the end of the month. So, by the way, the Tigers are getting no hit through 6 innings. Just a fun thing to note. Probably just jinxed it. But make sure to be probably paying attention to that as well. But wow, the NL East is. I said it on Into the Stands. It's going to be a dogfight to the very end. But teams are not producing with the win number. It's going to be much lower now. I think 90, 95 wins is going to win this division now. How much of a problem? How will the teams respond? And it's going to come down to the Mets. I think it's just going to be their big question. What depth will they add to this team? For the Phillies, same question. Same with the Braves. I don't know if the Braves really need to change much. I think it's just like last year where they had started off slow and they're going to really jump up in quality by the end of the year. Phillies, same deal. I think they're going to jump up in quality in the year. And I think it's very possible if the Marlins can sustain this, which I don't think they are. I think the possible that the Mets finish in fourth. It's a relative possibility if the Mets don't add. But that's another story because it's still such a long way to go in the season. But we'll preview that when that time comes, because that is the end of tonight's stream. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure we'll come back on Friday. Make sure you're following my the socials. The handles are down in the description. Make sure to like, comment if you want to. Make sure to hit that subscribe button as well. It'd really be helpful for me. But that's all for now. I'll see you guys on Friday. I'll see you then. Good night, everyone.